Welcome to Douglas County News Exchange. I'm your host, Sabrina Hayes. The Douglas County school system has been busy over the past couple of months, winning awards, showcasing outstanding student work, and receiving required accreditation. We'll tell you all about it. Also, we'll show you some furry friends who have joined forces with the juvenile courts to help children feel a little bit more comfortable about the experience. We'll tell you all about the new exhibit at the Cultural Arts Council and a new way to stay informed about everything arts in Douglas County. All this and more today on Douglas County News Exchange. Never has such anxiety been felt by a child compared to science project season. However, the students you're about to see handle it with style. The 2016-2017 Science Fair Awards ceremony was held at the Murray Education Complex last month. Here's Pam Walker, the chair of the Science Fair, to tell you about a change to the format, and you'll get a glimpse at some of the amazing projects.
This is the Science and Engineering Fair for Douglas County School System, and so all of our middle schools and high schools were invited to send their best projects from their school. The best projects will go on to a region at the University of West Georgia. We have 82 projects and 101 students that are participating, and so we divide our projects up into two categories. They're either science projects or they're engineering/technology projects. With our new science standards coming up, STEM is a very big focus with that. So yes, really STEM is what makes everything go, and so we want our students to be competitive in those STEM careers and be inventing those cool things that are going to drive the future for the United States.
Well, we're glad once again to have the Science and Engineering Fair this year actually in Douglas County. We've expanded that to include engineering, which we think is extremely important. We think it complements many of the things we have going on in our school in terms of STEM education. And as we start this at the elementary level and work it right up through middle and high. So it's great to see these high school students in particular who've maybe been in science fairs for the last 5-10 years. So some great projects, always exciting to see how creative and how smart our kids are and the wonderful parent support that we see every year.
The purpose of my project is to design a forge, unconventional design that is more efficient than current forge designs, and it's a lot cheaper to use because instead of using propane, it uses waste fuels such as peanut oil, motor oil. It can even use diesel, and it cuts down on cost by 80% because instead of spending $40 on a tank of propane, you spend $3 on a gallon of diesel, which burns for the same amount of time. It was reported by California that they were able to recover up to $14.2 million last year, just alone by recycling metal. And if they were to use this method, using this forge design, that would increase by up to 80%.
My project was called The Great Bubble. It's which bubblegum brand produces the biggest bubbles. And my hypothesis was if the amount of sugar decreases, then the bubble would be bigger. And my hypothesis was correct because Big League 2 had the least amount of sugar and it blew the biggest bubble, as you can see right here. The sugar adds weight onto it, and so we timed 2 minutes on each, for my dad to chew each of the bubbles. And it's harder to chew Bazooka because it has more sugar and it's just harder. And Big League 2 was a lot softer and easier to chew to blow a bubble.
And this is my project, Digging Up the Hidden Truth. I made it because pollution has always been an exacerbating issue, but they always talk about pollutions of different kinds, but they never talk about soil pollution. And I wanted to discover if gas stations are causing soil pollution around their surrounding areas, because once runoff happens, say you drop some of the gas that when you're pumping and then it rains, it causes it to leak into the soil and into the earth. So I wanted to see what was really going on with it, and I discovered that actually gas stations don't cause soil pollution, that the soil is very very normal for like any type of soil because I studied a regular soil sterile area, and it was actually the same as the gas stations.
My project is a stiff, easy leash, which is a leash that you don't have to bend down for to connect. And I actually came up with this idea because I have a teacher that she told me about that her dad cannot bend over easily because he has had hip replacement surgery and he can't hook a dog collar on a dog leash. So I wanted to create this to help anyone that has hip or spine problems. And so I've made a mechanism that it can open and close the hook from the handle so it doesn't require bending down. I bought this hook, but I have had to make a brass pin that opens and closes, and also this could work as a normal leash that you hook. And then you pull this T-shaped handle piece and it gets stiff. And then when you relax it, the leash is very flexible. So when you pull it, it gets super stiff, and then when you relax it, it's soft. So when you hook it, you have it stiff, and then when you just want to walk around with the dog, so it doesn't, so the dog doesn't like get choked or anything while you're walking, you just have it flexible.
All right, so this year my project was about an issue in an epidemic called Dcne. Dcne is a loss of curvature in your neck caused by just texting or just using your cellular device. My plan was to actually do a lot of research and plan a study and eventually create an app in which it would eventually get rid of Dcne. Dcne can have many symptoms of tingling in your fingers to muscle fatigue in your forearms and also a loss of interior weight bearing, which is causing your neck to slowly come forward. So I created a app on my phone in which I would use it, or the patient/doctor would use it to actually help their patient get rid of symptoms.
Basically, it just lets you know when you're looking down at an improper angle, and that angle will be anything below this, basically, this motion right here, because this is what you're supposed to do. And whenever you're not like this, it throws off the balance in your body, so that really makes it hard for the long-term things that's going to happen to you, like the arm tingling, the muscle fatigue, and even hard time breathing. A doctor would be able to use the app and have their patient code so that that way they can track their patients, and their patients can also get on the app. And also what will happen is you can turn on your notifications so that way you can change whichever way you want to be notified whenever you're looking at an improper angle for more than 12 seconds, that is.
Okay, so I named my project The Clean Truth because in my project I compared hand sanitizer or soap and water, which one would clean your hands better. I found out that soap and water actually took the germs off of your hands a lot better than hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer actually just spread out the germs onto your hands. And we used glow germ and a black light to show what's in the pictures here. And where the glowing spots are, that's where all the germs are. And we had before and after pictures to show which one would clean off better.
So my project is ultrasonics and flocculants, applications in drinking water. And I explored the technologies of ultrasonics, which are vibrations that vibrate at 20,000 times per second. And they create cavitations inside water to remove impurities. And flocculants are special chemicals put inside water to also remove impurities. So I explored these two technologies and just kind of compared them. How I measured them is I used a nephelometer, which is a device that measures resistance of light at a 90-degree angle. So the higher the resistance, the cleaner the water was, and the less amount of resistance, the more dirtier the water was.
I think it's important that people do research projects because we can find out things that some people don't know yet, like that project right there. It's the Yeti project. That's really cool.
I think it's important because not only does it teach students how to come up with a problem and find the solution to it, which can help, billions of people across the planet, but it also shows that many people are uneducated on certain topics and think that, just because everyone else says this, that it must be true, but using science, you can find better solutions to problems that most people wouldn't even realize exist.
Definitely doing research projects should like find yourself or put yourself in a pathway in which you want to like put your career into. For me, I definitely want to go into the doctorate profession, just like both my parents, they're both doctors, so it's kind of in the family.
I think research projects are like really important because it's the pathway to innovation in our country. Without research, we won't have anything. So groundbreaking research and adding more things to what we already know will help put us ahead in the world competition that we're in right now.
I think it's important for kids to participate in the science fair because it's a good learning activity and it helps kids to know different activities that you wouldn't really know in school.
I think that everybody should be able to learn as much as they can. So especially students, they have a really good opportunity, like at the Douglas County Science Fair, to really have a impact on the world, you know, because they may do some research that scientists haven't done yet, or maybe they do research that just inspires them to become a scientist, or maybe, you know, work in this field of science themselves.
Here are the winners from the Science and Engineering Fair. Please accept my apology in advance if I mess up any of the names. For the middle school competition, the first place winners in the science category this year are Rejul Patel, Kyle Vanderwhite, Alexa Robles, and Millard Lovegrove. Second place goes to Ebony Golden, Isabella Nail, Rebecca Spohr, Cameron Curtis, Quincy Swan, Britton Collins, Andrew Mancharahu, Kelsey Simmons, and Miles Joseph. In the engineering and technology category, first place goes to Michael Tyler, Isif Juman, Georgia Stinchcomb, and Ella Stinchcomb. Second place for this category includes Sammy Zhu, Alexander Kuiper, Roxy Bridges, and Andrea Torres Wilkin. In high school, first place in the science category went to Blair Cowan, Nicholas Korzinski, Aisha Saeed, Michael Manjarahu, and Davika Dutt. The second place winners are Hope Lee, Ethan Key, Carla Chasen, and Shamar Frazier. Winners in the engineering and technology category include Chase Cooper, Cordell Palmer, Jaden Lamar, Anthony Russo, Kenneth Thomas, and Sebastian Torres Wilkin. The second place honorees are Tiffany Numa, Tyler Numa, Peter Oikuni, Ruben Velez, and Brandon Lindstrom. These students will move on to the Regional Science and Engineering Fair. Congratulations and good luck in the next round. The Cultural Arts Council is always trying to advance the awareness and appreciation of art, music, and any other cultural genre. In order to meet this goal, they have come up with a new way to advertise not only CAC-sponsored events, but your artsy events as well. Here is Executive Director Davina Grace Hill with the details and a sneak peek at the current art exhibit at the Cultural Arts Center.
Here at the beginning of 2017, we have a very exciting exhibit celebrating artists of color, featuring 4 of our best local artists, Donald Holman, Penelope Davis, Tracy Morell, and Dolores Surrey Smith. It's a very full exhibit. All our walls are quite packed with their artwork, and it is very diverse. It'll be a lot of fun for people to come view it. We have abstract, realism, whimsical, political. It ranges the gamut. The one thing I would say primarily, there are a lot of people in them. There are a lot of faces. There are a lot of, while there is some abstract, it's mainly imagery of all sorts, from Japanese culture to African culture to musicians to political figures. So folks are welcome to come on out. The Arts Council is always free. It's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. This exhibit runs through February 22nd. And then we have a reception that everybody's welcome to come to on January 28th, Saturday night, 9 to 10. So come on in and enjoy it. The Cultural Arts Council has just started a new program called Artsy News. It's going to be on the 15th and the end of the month, an e-blast that we send out to anybody who wants to sign up for it. And we hope that we will eventually have a listing of everything that's happening in the community and the arts visual and performing and literary, for the next 2 weeks, so that if you've got an activity or you've got company and you want to go someplace, this will be the place you can go see what's happening. I got tired of hearing about a theater performance the next night that I didn't know anything about. And then I got to a couple of those and they were extraordinary. The quality was wonderful, and I just want to spread the word and let people know what's in their midst. Signing up for that, you can call the Arts Council at 770-949-2787. Go to our website, www.artsdouglas.org, and we'll get you on that list, and you'll get it every 2 weeks automatically.
Douglas County is fortunate to have an amazing school system. Last year's Teacher of the Year for the county went on and won Georgia Teacher of the Year, as we have reported in the past. Casey Bethel from New Manchester High School has been lending his talents by traveling around and teaching other teachers. He has also been featured in a video series sponsored by the governor's office. It was filmed at Georgia Public Broadcasting at New Manchester High School, and we got our hands on a copy. Here it is.
Teaching is the most rewarding profession in human history. Every day, teachers come to work knowing that what we do in our classrooms is impacting the lives of students and changing the world, making the future a brighter place. Of course, we want our students to be intelligent and astute. We want them to study hard and find academic success. I mean, there's nothing like seeing the light come on in a child's eyes when they understand a difficult topic for the very first time. But we also get the chance to sow the seeds of confidence and ambition in their hearts. Ultimately, those are the things that are going to push them towards their own passions and making their own marks on the world. My personal joy is in motivating my students to set really high aspirations and then seeing what they go on to become. Man, I love this job. I am a teacher.
Also in the Douglas County school system, the frequent process of accreditation took place last month by an organization called Dcne. A team of 8 spent a few days evaluating, interviewing, and scoring the schools, teachers, and administrators. We were recommended for reaccreditation, and while that isn't that much to celebrate, we scored a 307.93. In comparison, the average score is about 279, and Advanced Ed team leader Dr. Bill Rivenbark said, "We rarely see a score in the 300s. Your system should be very proud of this evaluation. Another feather in the cap of our schools." One of the responsibilities of the chairmen and mayors of the counties in the Atlanta metro region is to serve on the ACCG Board of Managers. ACCG is the Association of Cities and Counties of Georgia. Douglas County's new chairman, Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones, was recently sworn into the board. She will have the opportunity to be on various committees and possibly a leadership role in the future. Our Hometown Heroes segment this month is about a group of individuals who decided to make a difference in the lives of some children who were thrown into our judicial system through no fault of their own. Previously, children had to either sit in the courtroom and be witnesses to the proceedings, or they could go into an adjacent reading room with a complete stranger. Today, that second option is a little easier to bear for the children since their host is a furry friend.
The program is for the juvenile court, and Judge Walker wanted since the kids have to come into the courtroom, a lot of them are nervous. She wanted the therapy dogs to be able to come into the courtroom when the kids are there, and she wants to dismiss the kids to this. They made this beautiful reading room. I think it's been here maybe 6 months. And so she wanted the dogs to come into the reading room. They come in with a court-appointed person. We don't bring the kids in here ourselves. And the court person sits in here, and the kids come in. They can read to the dogs or play with the dogs. All of these dogs do tricks. So we just entertain the kids while the parents are in the courtroom. We had actually been working on it a couple of years. I was working with CASA. I was a CASA representative for a while. And so we started doing things with CASA, with the dogs, and then we got Judge Walker involved, and she felt like that it was a need in the courtroom for the therapy dogs. Before the program, the children would just have to stay in the courtroom with their parents. As you know, there's a lot of legal things that go on. It's very scary. There's a lot of people in the courtroom. And so the kids didn't have anywhere else to go. They had to stay with their parents in the courtroom. We have these 3 dogs involved, and they are all 3 with Alliance of Therapy Dogs. We're all registered teams with Alliance of Therapy Dogs. Certainly if there were other teams in this area, we could, bring them in. We only come 2 days a week, so yes, as far as expanding, we hope to be able to come maybe 5 days a week at some point, because they do have court every day. We hope that anyone in the courthouse that needs us, any of the attorneys, if there's any children that need to testify, that are nervous or afraid, if they need us in any other court, we would certainly be willing. The 3 of us all had our dogs young, and we started training our dogs young. The process would be they would need basic obedience training. Of course, you have to have a dog that's that can be calm, that doesn't jump, that is not an excessive licker, that doesn't get excited. We take our dogs out and we expose them to all types of environments, all types of sounds, smells. That's how you train the dog to make sure that they can handle anything that's out in the environment. People can tell these are different dogs. We usually put bandanas or vests on them to identify that they are special dogs. And coming into the courtroom, everybody, when you walk into the courthouse, everybody wants to stop and pet them. It's been proven that dogs, they lower blood pressure. They're good for any kind of stress and anxiety. So the dogs are beneficial to everyone that they see in the courtroom. When I was in the courtroom a couple of weeks ago, there was a little girl, she was about 3.5, and they wanted her to come out of the courtroom, and she was just holding on to her mother for dear life and screaming. And so I just took the dog up to her, and as soon as she saw the dog, she started smiling, jumped down out of her mama's arms, and she followed us right into the reading room and stayed in here the whole entire time. That's the whole purpose of the program, is to make the kids feel comfortable. There's a lot of things that children don't need to hear in the courtroom, and before there was no choice. The kids had to stay in there. They had to listen and be exposed to everything that went on in the courtroom. Now they have an opportunity, and it's even kind of scary even to go with a court personnel. It's still a person they don't know. So the dogs is just a catalyst that makes it so much easier, for them to want to come in here and stay.
Thanks so much for watching DCTV 23. If you need any additional information about what you saw on the show today, all you have to do is go to our website at celebratedouglascounty.com or email us at dctv23@co.douglas.ga.us. Be sure to check out all of our shows here on your source for local news and entertainment. DCTV 23 is always on at Comcast Channel 23, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and online at dctv23.com.